What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to RC Everyday. So, as promised, we're doing some exploratory surgery here on the Mattel HotWheels Cybertruck that I paid way too much for, and I gotta say, I'm not disappointed with the chassis. The chassis is very hobby grade. It is mostly all Carisma stuff. I'm not familiar with that brand. Had some good information on Instagram. Someone who worked on the project had told me some stuff about what to expect in here, and parts are available. Things can be modified. It's got a brushless system. It's all Carisma branded. A generic looking brushless motor says Carisma on it. This chassis is very TT01ish. We've got a dual bell crank steering. We've got pretty hefty sway bars like I talked about before. Four-wheel independent suspension. And yeah, the only problem I have is the Tesla body's kind of ugly. So, I mean, it's basically a TT01. We've got identical gearboxes front and rear, independent. Everything's basically the same from side to side. The rear, well, at least it does have locked out hubs, so they don't have to have another tie rod to keep them from turning. We've got some adjustments on things. It's kind of a dulled down version of a touring car chassis, I guess. There's less options as far as arm locations. You have a couple here. There's pretty much only 2 shock mounts, things like that. Got this gigantic urethane bumper in the front. Wasn't too hard to take apart. I probably took a few extra screws out, but you have 3 in the bed, and you have the 4 here, 2 on each side. And I took everything out of the bumpers just because I didn't know what went, so we've got about 16 screws out of it. But it's hobby grade stuff. We've got an extra wire coming out of the receiver for our lights. The lights have a standard receiver plug. Everything plugs in like that. It's pretty cool. The only difference basically is this is a custom wheelbase chassis, not something you would find on the market. The battery is open to the bottom, which is a very toy grade feature, but the guts are good. Servo's actually kind of large. I'm not sure. Well, I guess it's standard size. It's got a plate on top of it. Just a standard servo. It's got a little bit of a spring mechanism on it, like a servo saver. But oil-filled shocks. I mean, they're just plastic, but it's just decent stuff. And again, I overpaid way too much for this because I didn't get them when you had to be immediately online ready to check out as soon as they went live. So I paid a fortune for this, but yeah, the chassis is actually pretty decent. I mean, it's not groundbreaking or anything, but it's good stuff. It's shaft driven. You can see up in here, it's got a drive shaft, and you've got your spur gear and your pinion gear directly on the shaft. Drives both front and rear. Pretty cool stuff. So my plan with this originally, they touted it as 1/10 scale. I couldn't find good measurements online because all the people that were doing videos on them were not RC people. So I wanted to put this on the Sin Racing F450 chassis with the air ride and the American Force 24 by whatevers and all that, and just have the most ridiculous looking thing in the world. And it's a little small. So I don't know what the true scale is. I mean, obviously this chassis is longer than a standard touring car, and that body is long and narrow. So it really didn't look right with the duals, and it's about maybe 2 inches shorter wheelbase than the Sin Racing F450. And those giant wheels and tires just will not fit in the wheel arches of the Cybertruck. You can see the, yeah, we're about 3 inches short of the wheelbase, which that chassis is adjustable wheelbase, but I don't want to tear up that truck for this. It was just going to be kind of a funny joke. So I don't know what we're going to do. accidentally made a discovery here. Sorry about the towel. I didn't want to scratch the body up any more than it already is. And I got all the hardware laid out here in case I decide to put it back together. So that was the original plan. Second plan, maybe put it on a crawler. It doesn't fit anything. I've got to check the SCX 10.3, but it's just going to look ridiculous because that body is so narrow, and that Jeep chassis is just ginormous with the big tires, and I don't know. I don't know what to do with that thing, so we may back burner that because I made a recent discovery, completely unrelated to this video. The weather was right today, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to paint that 3D printed Suburban body I got from 110 Rod Shop. And I just brought it in here, and I've got the first paint color on it. I haven't even started filming anything about it yet. And I go to set it down. Exact match for this chassis. The wheelbase is perfect. Yeah, the tire size, the wheels are hideous, obviously, but that's perfect. It just works. So now I'm faced with another dilemma. Did we pretend we didn't see this and put the Cybertruck back together because we have a whole bunch of money in it? Or do we go ahead and paint this body in this video and see what the heck we're going to do? So obviously this chassis is still setting up. So, you know, we'll have to play with body mounts and such. You know, my first instinct is air ride, but anything's possible. The steering at this height is being possible. The tires do fit and do not rub, but there's not going to be any turning inside of there. But this chassis does have adjustable upper tie rods for your upper control arms, basically. So we can camber in the front and maybe get us enough steering to get by. And it's just your standard oil fill shocks like a touring car, so we can adjust it, we can lower it, we can do anything with it. And we've got sway bars, and it's actually fast. That chassis is pretty dang fast. So I don't know. So I think I'm going to move forward with this body. So I've painted this a base coat. It is Rust-Oleum matte or satin heirloom white. It's one of my favorite things. It's kind of just a matte satin finish. I've learned over the years with doing patina, use the same paints. So I found a color I liked, and it was one of those Rust-Oleum 2X primer and painting ones. And you know, all these paints now say they work on every single thing in the world, so I don't know why they do that. But I've had horrible luck with those, the 2X paints. So I found a similar color in this regular Rust-Oleum paint that's a satin. And we're going to do a two-tone traditional Chevy style paint job. So this is the heirloom white. It looks stark white here on the camera because of the lighting and everything, but it is a very dirty white. It's very off-white. So it's a good match to go with the patina. And I didn't want to go, look at my fenders up there in the garage. I've got the red and the green square body fender. I really almost went with the green, but I had a change of heart on the paint aisle at Walmart, and I got an orange. And it's not a traditional Chevy orange, it's a little bit lighter. They had one that was a little bit closer, but I think the lighter color is going to work out better in the end with the patina and the weathering. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and start masking off the body lines. I'm going to do I'm not sure yet. I got to do some Googling. I don't remember if these, I've seen like a Cheyenne package on a Suburban, so I don't know where they broke the color. If it has white pillars and white top, or it's just the top itself is white. And then we're going to do this body line here around the arches and across right here, the two-tone. And yeah, so I got to do some Googling. Alright guys, I decided to wait on the other body and what we're going to do with this thing yet. I don't know. I just don't know. It's so expensive, it's hard to just hack it up and use it for something else. I don't really have to hack it, but you know how it is. I really don't know what to do with the Cybertruck body. I need to repaint the bottom edge of it, and I really wanted to repaint the whole thing, but I don't know. I'm not really feeling it, so I don't know what we're going to do with it. We may just put it on a shelf and wait for the right thing to come along to use it with, or who knows. But for now, we're not going to do anything permanent, so I just wanted to show y'all what was underneath this chassis here. it's kind of neat. It's actually hobby grade stuff. Chassis and everything feels really good. The body, kind of toy grade, but it's there. It's got interior. It's got that rolling bed cover. Just, it is what it is. It's not the greatest looking truck in the world in my opinion, but I know a lot of folks love them. So, anyways, comment below what you'd like to see. If you want to see me use this chassis for Evil and put an old rusty box on it and see what we can make it do. Or you want to see it go back to the Cybertruck, or you want to see the Cybertruck driven off a cliff, or whatever, you know. Just comment below. But appreciate everybody watching. Be sure to check me out on Instagram. I don't do much on Facebook anymore, but everything from Instagram shares to Facebook, and there's an RC Everyday page there, but I'm not as active as I used to be. But yeah, check out the merch below. Help support the channel. I really appreciate it. Keep it scale, and I will see y'all next time.